Welcome back to Gentle Herb Living, where we explore natural ways to support your wellness through herbs and mindful gardening. If you're like me, you love nurturing your potted plants, whether it's basil on the windowsill, rosemary on the balcony, or a full container garden on your patio. But here's a truth many beginner and even experienced gardeners overlook. Potted plants need more than just water and sunshine to thrive. In fact, if you're not using this one specific additive, your plants may be silently struggling. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, why it matters, and how to use it the right way. So, what is the one thing most people forget to add to their potted plants? Compost, or more specifically, a living, nutrient-rich organic additive that mimics what plants would naturally get from the earth. In-ground plants benefit from complex ecosystems, including worms, microbes, and decaying organic matter that constantly feed the soil. But in containers, that natural cycle is cut off. When soil is limited in a pot, nutrients are quickly depleted and don't get replaced, unless you step in and do it manually. Now, before you reach for chemical fertilizers, hear me out. While synthetic options can give your plants a temporary boost, they don't feed the soil. They feed the plant directly, often in ways that create imbalances over time. For container gardens, especially if you're growing herbs for wellness or culinary use, what your plants need is a living organic boost. Compost, worm castings, or even a homemade compost tea can be transformative. These aren't just nutrients. They're alive with beneficial microbes that help build healthy, active soil. And when your soil is healthy, your plants become stronger, more flavorful, more aromatic, and more resistant to disease. When I first started container gardening, I couldn't figure out why my herbs would look good for a few weeks, and then slowly start to fade. The leaves would yellow, growth would stall, and no amount of watering seemed to help. Once I began incorporating worm castings and weekly compost tea into my watering routine, I saw an almost instant transformation. My lemon balm bounced back, my thyme grew thick and bushy, and even finicky plants like cilantro started thriving in pots. So why exactly do potted plants struggle without this additive? Well, it all comes down to nutrient depletion and soil structure. In nature, dead leaves fall, organic matter breaks down, and the soil is constantly being refreshed. But in a pot, unless you manually top it up, your soil becomes sterile and lifeless over time. That leads to poor root health, low yields, and stress in the plant, even if it looks green on the surface. Organic compost isn't just about nutrients. It also improves moisture retention, prevents soil compaction, and fosters the kind of healthy root zone that encourages growth. The good news is, this isn't complicated. If you have access to finished compost, either from your own compost pile or from a reliable source, you can add a layer to the top of each pot once a month. If you're working with smaller containers or delicate herbs, worm castings are a gentler, odor-free option that can be mixed right into the soil. You can also make a compost tea by steeping a few handfuls of compost in water for 24 to 48 hours. Then straining and using the liquid to water your plants. This gives them both hydration and nutrients in one step. Another helpful tip is to refresh your container soil seasonally. Even with regular composting, soil in pots eventually breaks down and loses structure. If you're replanting your herbs each season, mix in 30 to 50% fresh compost or high-quality organic potting mix to revitalize the base. And don't forget mulch. Adding a thin layer of straw-shredded leaves or even chopped herbs on top of your pots helps protect the soil, lock in moisture, and feed microbes as it breaks down, just like in nature. So if your herbs or potted veggies look tired, or you're just not seeing the lush growth you expected, stop and ask yourself, when was the last time you fed your soil instead of just your plant? This one overlooked additive could be the missing piece in your garden's success. By nourishing the soil first, you create a strong foundation for everything else to thrive. It's a gentle but powerful shift, and it aligns perfectly with the philosophy of herbal gardening, working with nature, not against it. Thank you so much for watching Gentle Herb Living. I hope today's tip helps you breathe new life into your potted plants and herb garden. If you try this additive, whether it's compost, worm castings, or compost tea, I'd love to hear about your results. Let me know in the comments what you're growing and what difference you notice. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow plant lovers who might need a little extra help with their container gardens. Until next time, stay rooted, stay curious, and keep growing with nature.